This Charlotte ROVAL NASCAR 2024 weekend betting recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code RACESGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. And Cody, the question is not who will Kurt Busch wreck to win a championship. It's who will Tyler Reddick wreck to win a championship. We're recapping the Roval today. Cody, there was two entirely different races on Saturday and Sunday. I am highly curious. And before we say hello to you, I just want you to know, I have got my last Talladega Light, and I've got my beer nuts. Today, Cody, we are just two guys talking NASCAR because there's so much to discuss today that I figured beer and nuts and you talking NASCAR with me was precisely what was called for today. So, I
have my beer as well, Rod. Wait a minute. Should I talk now, or should I wait 15 to 30 seconds and think about it?
The light
then
just
talk.
The light just came on. You can't know.
Are you
did
sure?
Did you make it past my starting line?
Yeah, well, let's wait until it's really close and then pretend like somebody won.
What are we doing?
Then we'll decide.
What are we doing? This, honestly, to me, if the dude was in, it was hard to see. A camera freaking cut to the car in the wall.
Literally everybody in their world was watching, going, are they going to throw it? Are they going to throw it? And then on the radio, they're like, get to the white flag, get to the white flag, get to the white flag. Then he gets to the white flag. He takes it. He's the winner. The race is over. I don't care if there's a Photoshop picture of him 3 centimeters from the fucking light or line as the light comes on. He was clearly past the line before the light came on. Parker Kligerman is your winner, 20-1. Congratulations. Don't care what the fucking book says. I'm still pissed off about Saturday night, Rod. And look, today's race was great. I haven't heard yet because, we got time still, right? I'm sure people will find something to complain about because they always do. And I like to complain about people complaining. But I have a legit complaint about Saturday because what the fuck was that?
So this is what I'm really wondering too. Well, first and foremost, which NASCAR employee, which NASCAR intern has a Canva account that they were that quickly able to import the car into the light, or at least the light into the.
Well, really, you just take the picture and you just color in the light there. That's fine.
I was gonna say I could work some magic with Canva, but
I could make it look like the light was on before you got to the line too. Like
I could make it look.
And I'm not even that good at photo editing. But
no, listen. Okay, so if you don't know, and sorry, we're burying the lead because obviously there's a lot to talk about. First of all, I want to say hello to JDK. Statistically, this is the best NASCAR gambling show out there. There's been some discussions, and this is what I want to get to later on in the episode. I want to kind of
might not give you minus 650s that hit, but we are here doing our thing, I guess.
So listen, what I want to kind of do, and normally we go through and we work through. I kind of want to just breeze through the bets the first part of the show because I want to talk. I want a conversation this time around because I feel like this weekend deserves some conversation. But first and foremost, let me tell you that if you are out there, thanks for tuning in to this show. We would love you. Again, statistically speaking, as JDK says, the best NASCAR gambling show out there. We only do it because we love you and we want to talk NASCAR with you. We'll get in that conversation later on. But JDK is also saying, stay sharp, fellas. One of our proud fans out there, and if you're one of those as well, you can help us. Head to Spotify right now. Give us a 5-star rating. Only you folks can prevent corporate gambling from taking over. We love your guys' feedback. We love your ratings, and so do the bosses, because it keeps us on the air. Speaking of being on the air, we've helped a lot of people so far, the SGPN has, and we've helped a lot of Hurricane Helene victims. They've been devastated. People of Western North Carolina need your help, and SGPN is teaming up with a local charity, mountainprojects.org, to help give back. Biggest donation of all of them out in the SGPN world will get a guest spot on the CFP Pick Show and a ton of gear. So if you want to help out, go to mountainprojects.org and hit flood support to help out today. Thank you very, very much. No, we do not want to talk golf for the half of the show.
I would like to talk about my football parlay today, Ron. I was feeling the board really good today, and I thought, we're going for it. 8-team parlay. Here we go, right? Washington Commanders, Baltimore game over 51.5, easy cash. Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers over 47, easy cash. Pittsburgh Steelers -3, easy cash. Atlanta Falcons -6, easy cash. Detroit Lions -3, easy cash. I got the Cincinnati Bengals left tonight, Rod. And I had the fucking Denver Broncos +3. They're driving down the field. They're going to score a touchdown. They get into field goal range. They kick the field goal instead of going for the touchdown. It cost me my 8-leg parlay that almost certainly would have cashed the Cincinnati Bengals. So luckily, I did bet each of those teams individually as well. Thank God. Frustrating day.
Well, frustrating is that I'd like for the Cowboys to completely give up on Ezekiel Elliott at this part. Just let's just.
I think the Cowboys gave up on everything today, right?
Yeah, they give up on life right now. They're hurting to the Lions at this point, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's get to some NASCAR. All right. So again, as we buried the lead a little bit, as we kind of came on, Xfinity race happened on Saturday. We usually talk about Cup race, but the Xfinity had a lot more to talk about this time around. Xfinity race, Sam Mayer. Congratulations. Punches his ticket to the next round.
Sorry, Parker Kligerman. Congratulations. I'm
sorry. Parker Kligerman. Congratulations.
It's like one of those movies with alternate endings, and I'm gonna go with the first alternate.
Where you have to wait till after the credits roll to catch the next one. Yeah, that's what it is.
Congratulations, Parker Kligerman, on his first career win. Very proud of the driver of the number 48 car, Rod. And in my book, he's still in the playoffs.
Such a good car all day long, Parker Kligerman. And we said it too. We told you on the show it was going to be a fast car.
We cashed a lot of fucking bet. We cleaned up in this Xfinity race, and I'm still and you gave out Sam Mayer 12-1 spoiler. I bet that too, so I still hit that, and I'm still fucking pissed off because it's fucking bullshit. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's breeze through the bets. Let's get down through the bets because like I said, I want to have conversations this time. So start off your bets. We'll go through the betting card because we did clean house. This was a good race for us.
AJ Allmendinger top 3 -125. I mean, I said it. This was the way to go, right? I was on him to win as well, but just in case it was SVG, just in case it was somebody else, AJ's going to be in the top 3 at the end of the day. Finishes in second, top 3, easy cash on this run.
There was no question about it. And even though it felt a little bit off for AJ, he had that interview where he was kind of like, hum, but you knew he was going to come out and come out swinging. So 100% agree with you on that one. Poor Sheldon Creed. If he's not second place, he's dead last in the field. I had him over Alfredo. Look, this one looked great for as long as Creed was alive in the race, and then it didn't. So Alfredo got caught up in a late wreck. It wasn't pretty for him toward the end of that, but I mean, it's hard to finish better than anybody when you are in 35th place out after 38 laps with your hood on your windshield. So felt good about this one. Creed started out in 5th place. Anthony Alfredo didn't really even have much of a day going anyways, let alone to be able to finish better than Sheldon Creed if Sheldon Creed were to stay on the track. So Anthony Alfredo, I'm trying to find out where he finished because I know that it was way back. 16th place, but he was limping across the track. So yeah.
Yeah, this one should have hit, and as unfortunate it didn't. I had Austin Green top 5, 14-1, top Chevy at 75-1. His engine ends up expiring, and the finish was not indicative of the run. Finished in 30th place, but Austin Green was up there. I mean, he was mixing it up kind of throughout the day, and the top 5 had life at points. It wasn't going to cash, probably not. I think he's going to be top 10 car probably at the end of the day, around there, maybe top 15. But Austin Green was fast. He looked good. And that's what you're wanting with this type of bet. Engine expires. Not a lot you can do about that.
Yeah, and the strategy that he played was brilliant. I mean, he was up there with, I think, Allmendinger that had stayed out, or somebody that had stayed out. He was out there toward the end of the race. At stage 3, you were like, holy shit, he's actually going to stick around.
Yeah, and it was like, and then he was sticking up there, and you're like, oh shit, this might actually, like, I mean, obviously we don't place a bet if we don't think it's going to have a chance, but it was like, okay, these might actually have a shot at hitting, and then of course the engine lets go, and again, there's not a lot you can do about that, and that's part of the handicap with these types of cars, right? Is we know that this 32 car, the Jordan Anderson cars, you can bet on them, but times they're going to have mechanical issues and other things, and that's what happened.
And speaking of sweating, I had Austin Hill over Bilicki. I didn't think this was going to be a sweat. I know you had talked about, but he's in the 19 car, and I was like, yeah, but it's still Josh Bilicki. And look, hats off to the broadcast.
Why did the broadcast think that this was only the second time Josh Bilicki had ever been in a Joe Gibbs car? They said that probably 395 times during the episode, and I'm just yelling at my TV. He's been in it like 4 times this season. What are you talking? And I don't know if they meant on a road course and they didn't specify that, which must be the case, but they kept saying it, I'm like, he's been in this car way more than twice. Like, I don't, but whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, whatever. At the end of the day, though, Bilicki was up in the lead, a lot like Green, right? I mean, all of a sudden, here's Bilicki up in the top 5, and I'm thinking,
he led laps for a while. I mean, it was strategy to get up there, but he did and held on to it. It was a very impressive run by Bilicki, so shout out to him. But luckily, you still cashed your bet.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Austin Hill pulls it out. He did start 6th. Bilicki actually had started in 4th. So, I mean, he qualified well, led those 10 laps because he stayed out. And then, for Austin Hill got caught up in, I mean, he was around the top the whole day, but like strategy took him out of points. I thought, oh man, and especially with cautions late, he did finish the first stage in the top 5. And then the second stage kind of got caught up in the strategy, and I thought he wasn't going to make it back. Sure enough, he did. Ended up finishing 4th, Bilicki finishing 8th, but good run by Bilicki. So tip of the cap, but still had the bet that cashed.
Yeah, exactly. I had Eric Almirola top 5, 4-1. He ends up at 9th. I don't know that he ever had a shot. While we're talking about top 5s, Rod, did have Austin Hill top 5, 6-1. You just mentioned it, right? Finishes in 4th. Austin Hill was a top 5 car the entire day. This wasn't Austin Hill stuck around and squeaked in at the end and got there. Like, he was just legit running in the top 5 or close to it all fucking day long, which was really great. And obviously he cashes in 6-1. I mean, shit, like what were the odds for the top 3, 4, 5 guys going into this race? I mean, we're less than 6-1, and all Austin Hill had to do was get the top 5, and he did that. So the Almirola side of things didn't cash. 4-1, fast car. I mean, Bilicki actually ran better than Almirola, which is a shocking thing to say. Didn't have that on my bingo card, but I'm not going to regret having such a fast, good car. And he ended up finishing in 9th. I mean, he had 3 of those Joe Gibbs Racing cars in the top 9 at the end of the day. So, missed on the Almirola side of things, but Hill obviously carries the day with the 6-1.
Yeah, and Hill did have to play bumper cars all day long with the 2 of Jesse Creed. Who I'm telling you, man, that 2 car, it doesn't matter who's in it. Like, Austin Hill is going to be in contention.
They even called him Creed at one point because there was a 2 car, and he was like, oh, wait, he's not in that car anymore.
Love, Creed Love. It's all the same at this point because they keep fighting Hill for the whole thing. It's insane. All right, so here's the thing. No, we'll talk about it later. I'll go ahead and give you the bets, and we'll talk about this later. Remember, I'm
interested to see where Rod's going with all this because we did not talk about this pre-show. So
no, we didn't. No, this is gonna be fun. Parker Kligerman, I took him as a top 5 car. Parker Kligerman, it's still a top 5 car in Cody's mind. But on this,
won the fucking race, Rod. It was pretty clear.
It was clear. He finished in 6th. So I was ready for him to at least still finish in the top 5. I was still ready for Kligerman, but boy, that tire issue at the end, Hill just sucked past him. Chandler Smith just sucked past him. I thought we were clear after Hill got past him. I was like, all right, fine. we're good. He's not going to give up another spot to
win.
Chandler.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Chandler.
Yeah.
Chandler got him at the end, but you just don't cash your group bet.
I did. Alfredo
dude.
Almirola and Mosak. I mean, Mosak was not even a factor. Like, I don't know why. I'm looking for his name. He's probably higher than I.
He's 18th. I mean,
Yeah.
but the 88 car again, I think, brought him up a little. Like, you're like, okay, it's the 88 car. We've seen what it's done this year.
Strategy put him in the top 5 there at a point. He was outside pole or outside of the first row when he was starting with, I think it was Allgaier, right? Or somebody that was up there battling with, but yeah. And then the other two, I mean, the only other one that scared me at all was Almirola at one point, because he was ahead of PK for real. And then, not after a while. So yeah, PK won. But yeah, we'll talk about all of that in a second. I gotta get to a break because I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we will discuss more of the Charlotte ROVAL. I got to pull up my music. Here it is. Let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all of sports. They got NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, Formula One, and so much more. Plus, their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts. You can use all your specials and your boost on all your flexed entries. Had some fun with Underdog this weekend for the ROVAL. I tell you what, though, this was a lot of fun for us because we had an entire episode dedicated to Underdog Fantasy. We had some of our picks that came through, and then some of them that didn't. AJ, obviously, better than 7.5 came through for Cody. We had Bowman better than 12.5 came through as well. So many good picks. Unfortunately, we kind of missed on a couple. I took Larson worse than 7.5. I'm kind of eating that one right now, but that's why you get flex. That's why you're able to kind of miss one and still have a good day. Sign up with our promo code to get yours too. Race SGPN. You're going to claim a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code Race SGPN. I took a wiffle ball bat to Kyle Larson this weekend. Didn't expect him to actually be any good on the ROVAL. Joke's on me. But all right, Cody, what was next?
You're up next, Rod.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm up.
Alex
No,
yeah, but I took 2 in a row.
You doubled up. Okay. I'm throwing this one away. Alex LeBay, top 5 at 14-1, top 3 at 30-1. I mean, look, you finished 14th, so at least there's,
that's not that bad. I mean, and like this, I'm very shocked by overtime, right? And maybe we can get into that in a minute. The overtime that should have never happened. How did we only have one overtime? I have no idea, because if that turns out like you think it's going to at that point in time, especially with all those guys right there that have to win to get in, I'm very shocked that was not a much more chaotic overtime. And at that point, that's when that type of bet's going to cash. So I think having those bets on LeBay top 5 and top 3 were not bad bets to have. And he finished 14th. Like, you're not that far out of it. Again, if you could bet a top 10, you would have. Then you're really close to hitting it. We don't get that option. So system play, top Toyota, Ed Jones 7-1, Annunziata 18-1. Neither of these guys really had a chance. I mean, Annunziata did get cleaned out in that one wreck. And
no, he took
Jones,
himself out.
That's right. He did take himself
burned into the tire barrier.
Yeah, he did. Let's not talk about the tire barrier, Rod, please. Sore subject. And Ed Jones was out very early in this race. So neither of these had a chance. And look, you needed Toyota guys to have problems. And look, Sheldon Creed did have a problem, right? And I mean, Annunziata beat Sheldon Creed. So there you go to the point. But it's just a system play. You're getting big numbers on on 2 guys in a group, basically. That's why you play it. It's not always going to hit, but when it does hit, it's nice. So system didn't work this time, but yeah, that's how it goes. And yeah, JDK brakes failed on the Annunziata car. And again, let's see, Sam Hunt cars. That's what you're going to get with those types of cars as well. It's Sam Hunt and Jordan Anderson. I mean, those one's a Toyota, one's a Chevy, but they're basically interchangeable second level teams that are going to have their issues at times.
Yeah, by brakes, do you mean his 2 feet that stuck down through the bottom of the floorboard? Because at that point, that's probably what he was hoping for.
Oh,
he was trying to Fred Flintstone that thing straight into the tire barrier. No, that was not fun for him. Yeah, I kind of wrecked the DFS lineup that I gave out with him too. But all right, winning car number I had is even. Obviously, Sam Mayer is not. I was highly banking on some of the AJ Allmendinger love to get there too, but. We were covering. We were hedging on that. It was not negative 600, by the way, for the winning car number. even. So even if you put something down on it, you weren't completely broke. So
yeah, I had AJ Allmendinger 3-1. I still think that was a good bet. Obviously, he comes home in second place. I mean, dude, our outrights were all right here, right? We gave out 4 outrights. They all finished inside the top 6, and 3 of them were 12-1 or bigger. So you couldn't. Okay, that's not correct. Actually, I get what was I thinking?
Well, you looked at Cole Custer. You just overlooked his name.
Okay, I gave out Cole Custer, who was not at the top.
Race.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, Cole Custer 18-1. Yeah. Was he in this race? Nobody knows. AJ Allmendinger 3-1. I had AJ parlayed to win both races. Obviously, he wins neither one. But I did have the winner of the race, Rod Parker Kligerman, 20-1. Congratulations to him on his first career win. I've also called the Charlotte Police Department. I filed a report for a theft because NASCAR stole the win from him. Fucking bullshit. But yeah, 20-1 at Parker Kligerman, obviously we call, right? He was 2 milliseconds from actually being credited with the win, apparently. But didn't hit, but he was right there. And then obviously you had Sam Mayer, and that one did hit.
I sure did. Sam Mayer, 12-1. I said he would. And honestly, this one, man, were it not for just a late boggle, because here's the thing, Kligerman earned it. I mean, he earned every bit of that, and Sam could not catch him at the end. Like Sam tore through the field, but just could not. That one corner where Sam had it and then just overdrove the car.
And then he kept missing the shift, which I think was not necessarily his fault. I think there was something catching in the shifter, but kept missing the shift there in I think it was a NASCAR, I don't know, one of the oval turns. But it
was part of the try. Yeah, it was part of the tri oval.
He was fast, but
Kligerman,
I mean,
like he was driving like a bat out of hell. He was driving with an absolute purpose. Was Kligerman, you know?
And look, shout out to Sam Mayer. I love Sam Mayer. I think I actually have a ticket on him to win the championship, so I'm not super upset about that part of things. And Sam Mayer, not undeserving, right? We saw how fast he was. You saw how good he was. I got a question for you, right? I got into an argument with the guy on Facebook, which I do way too often. He goes, pretty impressive for a guy who started in the back in Sam Mayer. Did he start in the back, Rod?
No, he did not start in the back. In fact,
well, but he was penalized. That was my fucking point.
Yeah,
did not start there. He started on the front row when the green flag flew. He was on the front row. Then he was penalized. Yeah. Apparently, that guy did not understand that. Anyways, just wanted to clarify. But very impressive run by Sam Mayer. Obviously, punches his ticket to the next round. He needed to win. Does so. He's into the round of 8. But just my thing on the Kligerman thing, it was clearly a caution, right? This wasn't a questionable. Should that be a caution flag? Should it not be a caution flag? Leland Honeyman was so far in the tire barrier, he was almost on the other side of the track. Like, it was clearly a caution. But the fact that we saw for 15 seconds this car buried, and we're waiting, he clearly takes trust me, Rod, I was standing up. I was in front of the TV almost as close as I could get, watching to see if the light came on before he crossed the line. The light did not come on before he crossed the line. They said on TV the light didn't come on before he crossed. They showed us right after that the light didn't come on before he crossed the line. And then they find this photo, right? That somebody photoshopped the light coming on 3 centimeters before he crosses the line. But if you're going to make that a caution, it's going to be a caution, right? Whether it's a caution right now, you let him race half a lap, then you throw the caution. At some point, there's a guy 47 feet into the wall barrier. He coming out. He ain't going to back that car out of there. But throw the caution flag well before we get to the line. Rack it up for overtime. Fuck, we were so close. We almost made it. Okay, that's fine. But don't wait until we're so close that nobody knows to throw the fucking yellow flag. And at that point, if you've already waited, it's over. He took it. He won. This is what you want. You wanted this to come down. You have these playoffs in place because you want to put guys into situations where they have to win. Now you have Cinderella fitting the slipper perfectly. This team is underfunded, single car team. Parker Kligerman, his last full-time season, right? Everybody loves Parker Kligerman. He's on NBC on Sundays. He's racing on Saturdays. You got all of it perfectly. He wins the race. And you say, nah, bro, sorry. Come on, Rod. What the fuck are we doing? Just, again, should have been a caution. Yes, throw it 10 seconds. I'm not exaggerating when I say they had 10 to 15 seconds. It might have been longer than that to throw the yellow flag. Throw it right away or wait till they cross the line, throw it, and the race is over. You got to pick one. You can't come down to 3 milliseconds. God, and for Parker Kligerman is a great dude. Like, we've all seen him, right? Like, again, we cash a lot. This is not just about the bets. I had the 12-1. I had the 20-1. Obviously, a 21 is nicer to hit. A 12-1 is fine. I still was positive on the day. I had the 6-1 on him. I had a lot of money on AJ top 3. But man, that was the frustrating thing. And like a great weekend of racing. Like, the races were both really good. They were exciting. You had all the storylines all the way down to the end. But why ruin that race like that? Oh, I was so fucking mad.
So that part of it, that's the part of it that really irks me the most, is that you had this wonderful race. You had this race where it all came down to everything that you could possibly want out of it. You had the Kligerman aspect of it. Like my brother said, Kligerman was
yeah, but it wasn't in the name of excitement. That was the excitement. It was already exciting.
This is what happened. This is what, again, this is why it really just made me so angry about it, because like you said, it was clear. We live in a high-def world where cameras are everywhere. You have drones. You've got cameras on every corner. You got cameras. We knew, and unless, I mean, I get it. Look, I've been in.
There's no unless.
No.
There is no unless.
Clearly, I've been in a press box before. I know sometimes, you're sitting there and you're like, oh yeah, I got to file this report, or I got to do this. I got to type this. I'm not looking at the race all of a sudden. And then you look up and you're like, oh, look, a caution. No, there are dedicated people that are watching these to throw the caution. This is what their one job is. And then there's a delay between you push the button and when the lights come on. Get rid
not
of
a 15-second delay.
This is not, you're not trying to dump a swear word out of a broadcast. You're literally clicking the button.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they were watching the TV feed, but they didn't have the live TV feed, right? It's the 30-second delayed one that goes over the air, Rod.
That's so.
And so they were just like, "Oh shit, hey, look, there's a car stuck over there." Like, I don't know. Since Cardboard Gate, ironically at the same track, that I've ever been this frustrated with NASCAR. And I know they've made some questionable calls lately and some stuff that's been frustrating, but this is the most it was.
Okay, but this is my question to you. Hold on, this is my question.
Caution 10 seconds earlier, and it's like, oh, we were so close. Kligerman had it, got taken away from him. Sucks, but it would have been legit. This was not the way to do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you think the outcome of the race would have been different had the caution been thrown earlier? Is it just the timing of the caution that you don't like, or is it the outcome?
It's 100% the timing, because it should have been a caution flag, right? There's no question. It's not. Sure. That cardboard's been out there for 50 laps. Should we throw the caution now, or should we wait another lap? It should have been a caution flag.
Barrier gate.
Right. It should have been a caution flag. And had they thrown it out as he's going through the chicane before he gets to the flag, then you're like, oh, fuck, we had it, right? But they're going to rack it up. It's overtime. It's legit. It's the fact that they waited all the way. I mean, the crew chief is screaming, or the spotter, whoever, is screaming, get to the line, get to the line. NASCAR still hadn't seen it at that point. It should have been a caution, and they should have thrown the caution before he got to the line and re-racked it for overtime, and that would have been fine. But it's the fact that they waited until he was across the line. Everybody thought he won. TV thought he won. He thought he won. I thought he won. You thought he won. Bob down the street thought he won. Everybody thought he won.
Thought he won.
He did win.
I know.
And then we changed the fucking result.
But you know what? Really, the worst part about it is that overshadows the entirety of what was a fantastic. There was racing up and down the board. There was great passes. SVG was dive bombing everybody. My brother's saying that was egregious, but if they throw the caution earlier, Mayer still win.
Mayer does still win. And overtime goes exactly the same way. And it's a completely different reaction because, we were so close on Kligerman. He just missed it. But you had to make it to where it just doesn't seem the fact that you waited so fucking, and it wasn't Like if he'd have gone into the barriers as he's coming and it's like, oh, car in the barriers and you smash the thing and it's that close, then okay, right? But he literally was in the barrier.
That dude
had a
camped out in the
cigarette,
barriers. Like
let
he
his dog go to the bathroom, called his mom, and then we threw the caution flag. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying. He grilled himself a couple of steaks. He had himself a nice little long distance phone call and watched a couple episodes of Stranger Things. He had
despite all that, we had a great day in Xfinity. Cashed a lot of tickets, so that's
fantastic.
Good. The field of 8 is set, Rod. We are going to begin potentially next week, starting to set our final fours. Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, Austin Hill, Chandler Smith. They have all advanced to the round of 8. They're above the cut line. Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, AJ Allmendinger, Sammy Smith. They have all advanced as well, and they will begin below the cut line starting next week in Las Vegas.
Just like we all drew it up. All right. That was fun. Let's get to some cup talk after the break. But first, let's tell you about BetUS. We're brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. US players are always welcome. You can sign up and deposit deposit $100 and you have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. I've told you once, I've told you a million times, folks, that is mine already. So please get your hands off of it, but you could still try. That'd be pretty fun for you. If you end up winning it. Looking at a couple of lines for you tonight, there's definitely a game going on tonight, by the way, if you don't already know. There's a fun game going on, and I'm trying to pull up the odds right now.
The Bengals and Giants.
No,
Take
it is
the Bengals. They're, what, 3.5, 4.5?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
They're 4 points right now, and minus
Bengals.
110. Yeah, minus 110 for the Cincinnati Bengals. So take that tonight if you like. Because that's definitely going to happen. Use the link to sign up and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus, promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions on betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing leaderboards, or press build a model for me. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop and has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting research and analysis. You can go claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. I sometimes feel like Howard Stern, if you've ever watched that movie Private Parts, where he's trying to read that ad and he's looking for the ad read. He knows the ad read is coming up and he's looking for the copy for the ad read. And he's just sort of going off the cuff. And he's like, I'm totally lying to you, because he's like, I've been going here for years. I've been shopping here with my kids and their kids. And he's like, oh, and by the way, their grand opening is today. He's like, I'm so sorry. There's sometimes where, I got 15 tabs open up and I'm trying to click on the right one to get to the right spot. And I'm just like, I'm vamping, and I'm not. So,
all right, Rod, before we get over to the Cup Series race, Boji Joe says, go Bears. Boy, the Bears had an impressive win today in London. Bengals easy. I crushed the NFL today. I did too, Boji Joe. Go back and hear how I got fucked over by the Broncos on my big parlay. And Drake May, he didn't necessarily catch the rushing ladder. I was a little sad about that. We hit the bottom rung, so that was good. But, oh, buddy, 3 passing touchdowns. Rod, have you ever played offensive line before? You know what? Doesn't matter. You could go start for the Patriots next week if you want to, because you'd be better than everybody else. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I've drawn an offensive line before.
I've seen you, and I still think you might be better. So, Drake May looks good, and I can't imagine how good he would look if he had an offensive line.
Well, he's got an offensive line. It's just not an offensive line.
Oof, yes. All right, Rod. Greatest driver in the world, Kyle Larson, takes everybody to school at the Charlotte ROVAL. Shout out to Mr. Larson. You talked bad about Kyle Larson. I would never do such a thing, Rod.
I got a question for you, though.
Didn't have the balls for it. And
here's the thing. I got a question. How is it that we point to performance, we point to numbers, we point to data, we point to things that you can quantify, and yet we hate people? Like, it's not that we hate the drive. Like, I got grief for Ty Gibbs. They were like, Rod always hems and haws about, I love you guys, by the way, too. But I'm just saying, I always hem and haw about Ty Gibbs for a reason. It's not that I don't think he's a talented driver. It's not that I don't think he's got 15,000 wins in him before his career is up. But right now, at this moment, I am trying to entertain you and win you money. The first one is a little questionable. The second one is even more. But at the same time, I'm using stats to back up my claim. I get that there's fans out there that wholeheartedly love Kyle Larson. I get that there's fans that wholeheartedly love Ty Gibbs. We love them too. We are not anti.
That's the thing. I don't think there's any drivers we really hate. Like there's drivers we like to kid on more than others, right? But there's nobody that I just openly root against, and there's nobody that I won't bet on out of principle. Like, no, we're here to win you money. Kyle Larson, it's 6 races out of the year, right? 5 of those 6 races, fading him worked out this year. It didn't work at Talladega. That's the deal. But we love Kyle Larson. We just hit on him 3 weeks ago at Bristol. I gave him out. He led 460 of 500 laps and cashed everybody's bets without even a single sweat. So I love Kyle Larson. I've been telling you for a while. He's the greatest driver in the world. I was arguing with Kramer about that way earlier on this summer, and I stick to that. That was before the whole I'm better than Max Verstappen comments. Like, I've been on that train for a long time. I love Kyle Larson. Rod loves Ty Gibbs. But, hey, we've been right about both of them recently more than we haven't.
What's funny
said,
Boji Joseph's take it like a man. But take what? Because he didn't even finish this race.
Well,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
are
Like,
correct,
I will take it. I will take it when it comes. I mean, you guys know me. Like, I am the most self-deprecating guy in the entire world. And if I'm wrong, you all know it. Like, I'm trying to hide behind anything. So
yeah, and Laura says never pass up on him again. But how many wins? That's the problem with Kyle Larson. How many wins does he have this season, Rob? This is 4 or 5, right?
6.
Does he have 6, really?
Yeah,
okay.
That's
still, it should be a bigger number. And if you bet on him at plus 400 every week, it only 6 wins this far into the season. Like, I don't know that the math really numbers out there, but I mean, again, Kyle Larson's the greatest driver in the world. That's not even up for debate. So, all right.
What are our bets? What did our bets say for this particular race?
Our bets said Kyle Busch was supposed to be good here, Rod. Turns out that was a lie. Kyle Busch, not good here. I had a top 10 even money, finishing 13th. I don't know. I mean, was he really ever going to cash the top 10 bet? I don't think so. Did he really ever have a chance? I don't think so. I don't know. Pretty disappointed in this one, so it's just how it is. AJ Allmendinger, top 5 plus 150. Was AJ Allmendinger a top 5 car all day? He absolutely was. He was one of the better cars in the day. They decide late. They'll give up, what was he, 2nd, 3rd, 4th? I mean, he was up there, right? They give it up, go in, get the tires. Look, if we get that late caution, AJ might be winning this race. I mean, Kyle was obviously really fast, but those tires, he was coming, he was fast. But, yeah, AJ finishes in 6th. He almost got back there, Rod. Unfortunately, it did not cash the top 5 for us.
Yeah, AJ tried to duel with too many people in the back. I mean, they should have just stayed out. I don't think tires were going to be that big of a difference for them. Anyways, I was so confused when both him and SVG came in. I did not get it. With as fast as that car was, even on old tires, I don't see it. I mean, I know he had older tires than the rest of the field too, but even still, like,
yeah, but I don't know, because I think that if you get one caution, Rod, and it bunches them up and puts them right there, we saw you were able to pass here, especially if you had tires. I mean, when Larson had newer tires, he ran AJ down like he wasn't even moving. And we know how good AJ is at this track, right? So I think that you just needed to take it and get, because that was their argument, right? They're not racing for points. They're not, we're not going to win this. We're not going to beat the 5 car. We're not going to beat these other cars up here. But let's go get tires, because if we get set up in the right position, we have a chance to beat them. If you end up with, especially if it's a fairly quick yellow there, you get a couple of laps in, and then we get the caution. The tires are still fresh. Now you've passed some cars and you're close. It definitely could have paid off. I think it was a gamble that was worth taking. Obviously hurt our bet. We didn't cash the top 5 on him. But I like what they did, because they weren't going to win without it, and that's what they're there for.
Yeah, tires definitely helped with that turn 7 dive bomb. That was a move that when SVG first did it, I think all the spotters were like, oh.
Yeah, TK saying tires made a difference in Xfinity. Maybe they thought it would matter more, but it just didn't matter enough. But it did. I mean, they, like JDK says, they passed like 14 guys in the last 20 laps. I mean, they were coming right in there. By the time you get through all that traffic, you're not expecting you're going to catch Larson. But if the caution comes out and you get a chance on fresher tires, you're you're going to have a shot at him. I don't know that you're going to get around him, but you're going to have a shot. And that's what they were looking for. I think that it was a needed gamble, and it potentially could have paid off. Rod, we just told you, we don't hate anybody. We'll bet on anybody. And sometimes Kaz Gralla is the hero we didn't know we needed.
When other shows pass on a Rick Ware versus Legacy matchup, we swoop in and tell you which side the right side is. I mean, look, this almost looked dead in the water when Corey, because I based my whole entire thing on the fact that Corey LaJoie was going to be the
Did
Rick
he
Ware
even
driver.
make it like 10 laps?
He made it 3 laps. 3 laps before his engine gave out.
Blew up. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, he was not good that day. So, I was like, well, okay. I mean, Kaz Gralla, he's going to be hunting for 30th. We may not get this bet, but thank God to the man that took out both of the Legacy Motor Club drivers and just parked them at a dead stop and ended both of their days, because both Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek finished 34th and 35th. All Kaz Gralla needed to do was finish in 28th place to cash this head-to-head.
These are the most beautiful bets that we have.
This is it.
We
This is
need to
why you
start.
exploit this stuff.
Yeah, we got to make sure we always throw these plays in, because it is so exciting.
It is. And honestly, too, I mean, Kaz Gralla, there were points in this race where he was actually inside of the top 20, right? I mean, he slid out at the end.
A good road course guy, and these record cars are better than they used to be. I mean, he's not bad. And then Legacy, just boy.
Well, they hit each other, Boji Joe, but they had
but that was all part of. I mean, well, was it?
The 42 came in on the
car was killing everybody. He spun somebody, and then both the 42 and 43 got logged up behind that guy. I can't remember if that was the Chastain spin or the Keselowski spin, or there was a lot of spins throughout the day.
Yeah,
but anyways, all right, Rod. Top Ford. I missed on this. I was way off. I had Chase Briscoe 9-1. He was obviously out of the race, fairly early. Finishes 37th. A lot of damage. The baby bump just doesn't do what it used to do. We had Bubba Wallace last week, Briscoe this week. Both of them sucked. So that was unfortunate, 9-1. Chris Buescher at plus 210 broke the streak. Rod, it's out. I mean, and for as many issues as he had throughout the day, he still ended up 17th, which is actually sort of an impressive run. But he'd gotten up there, and then he got spun out, and then he had another something going on. I just couldn't catch a break in the 17 car. I mean, again, if you're going to give me a guy who's finished, top 11 in the last 13 races on road courses, why would you not bet on him? Obviously, it didn't cash here. And while we're talking about Buescher, I gave out his top 5 at plus 250. This one stings a little, Rod. I had the top 10 at minus 150. Boy, that does hurt, but that's how it goes. I mean, again, the numbers were there. So sometimes it's all about the statistics, I've heard, Rod. This was a statistics play. Statistics did not come through for me.
Well, at least it was only a plus 250 for the top 5. So,
the minus 150. That's the part that hurt, but that's not going too far out on a limb.
Indeed. All right. I had Alex Bowman over Daniel Suarez. And I mean, look, Alex Bowman, he made me sweat this one way more than need be. I said that he would at least be somewhere in the top 5 or top 10 rather. And he did. He led 5 laps. I mean, strategy put him out front for a hot second. But when you're not, he got stage 2, he ended up getting the max points. He ended up staying out, leading that, then put himself mired in the back, got himself into a couple of kerfuffles, ended up finishing 18th. But boy, thank God for Daniel Suarez not having a good day. He started 13th on the track and ended up finishing in 31st. And I mean, he was a lap down by the end of the day, just not. That 99 car was playing pinball with everybody else on the track too.
Yeah, I mean, they even had the hood up at one point. He had a lot of issues.
Yeah. So Alex Bowman,
Josh Bilicki beat him in the 66 car. That's a bad day.
That's a bad day. Well, no, Josh Bilicki, good driver, right?
But not in the 66 is not a good car.
No, but Bowman, like I said, it wasn't the day that we expected him to have, but he still ended up cashing this bet.
Yeah, and like Bowman had that issue. Wasn't he spin like the second lap of the race? So it was something rough. Had an issue right away. Then he stayed out in stage 2 and won the stage to get the stage points, which was smart on their point, right? He ends up locking himself into the next round. But then that obviously is going to dig into your result at the end of the day as well. So, that's how.
Well, and I'll get to Buescher and Elliott because you already talked about Buescher. Obviously, did not finish in the top 10. Elliott did though. By the way, he ended up finishing 5th place in this race. Called that one, though. We knew it was going to be good. Unfortunately, Buescher did not hold the back end of this up. It was top 10. I mean, I should have taken Elliott as a top 5, but that's neither here nor there. Both did not finish in the top 10, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's boy, just man, I don't know. A lot of this race didn't quite play out how we thought. So, Austin Dillon top 10 at 8-1. This was gonna hit, then it wasn't, then it was gonna hit, then it wasn't, then it didn't. It like there was multiple times in this race where it was like, okay, Dillon's got a shot. And then I was like, oh yeah, he's not. And then you're like, oh, maybe. And then no, he didn't. And then he ended up getting taken out at the end there. I think he was that last caution that we ended up having.
Spun around.
Spun around and issues. So bad finish for him, unfortunately. The results have been here at this track, so don't hate having gone for that. Zane Smith, top 10 at 6-1. Zane ended up in 20th. I don't know. Quiet day from him. I don't even really remember seeing him throughout the day, which honestly probably the best thing. But yeah, doesn't get it done at the end of the day. Hocevar, man, he was up there again, 12th place. So maybe he was the better teammate to go for, but his odds were a lot less. So, and he didn't cash either. So neither here nor there, I suppose.
You talked about Busch earlier in the episode. Obviously not a top 10 car. Obviously not a top 3 car. This is it. I think we're done. I think Kyle Busch trying to win another race this season is essentially done.
I was about to say, Rod, we got to stop betting on him after I talked about his top 10 earlier. And then we're going to fucking Las Vegas this weekend. What better play? I'm disappointed in his run today, a couple hours ago. And I'm already thinking to myself, we got to find a way to bet on Kyle Busch this week. And I do not like it, Rod. I am going to try to avoid it. Remind me to Tuesday, friends, to not bet on Kyle Busch. But, I mean, the star in his hometown, like Poji Joe says, like,
I get it.
The story's there. Right? The story's been there all year, and it's not ended. And NASCAR doesn't like storybook endings. See Parker.
No, listen, the story was there in the beginning of the season, and he didn't get it done. So I don't think this late in the season it's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm definitely, yep.
The chat agrees, Laura. Yep, Rod, I'm done. No, Cody, just don't. Andrew says, no, he's done. No more KFB.
Yep. I know
also,
that
Laura. Oh, yeah. She's accustomed to disappointment. 49er faithful.
Me too, Laura. Me too.
Winning car number, Rod. Odd. -130. Look, I said you're going to get the best driver in the world in Kyle Larson. You're going to get SVG. You're going to get Chase Elliott. You're going to get all these. Hey, didn't you say earlier Chase Elliott didn't finish in the top 10, Ron?
No, I said
he finished 5th. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no,
I said he finished 5th.
Well, that was me mishearing you. But anyways, back to my point. Winning car number, odd, -130. It just didn't make a ton of sense with the loaded amount of drivers you were getting between Larson, between Elliott, between SVG, between Reddick, which we'll maybe talk in a second about his fucking run. Boy, that was the biggest sweat of the day, Rod, was all my Reddick futures, which are still alive. Let's go. But yeah, winning car number -130. You had to pay a little bit of juice, but actually you didn't, because you only pay the juice if you lose, which you did not do.
And you didn't lose the winning car number under 16.5. We had this winning car number just slammed at -120. I'm sorry.
Anything else, but we got it.
It was -700. So you would have had to bet about $800 to win 100. So no, winning car number under 16.5, -120. Lock it in. We got that one. Fortunately, the outrights didn't work out well for us.
Yeah, outrights. I mean, not super upset though. AJ Allmendinger at 8-1. Look, it was a good call. He was fast. He had his chances, right? They took that. They took the chance late by staying out with the tire deal. I don't know that that was the best decision. Obviously, Larson ran him down. Then they gambled later. Maybe you get another shot at it. I don't hate it. Reddick at 13-1. We saw what he was capable of, right? He won stage 1. He was fat. Now, obviously people in front of him pitted, but still, he was fast. He was showing some speed. Made that big mistake, jumped the car 30 feet off the ground and landed on his rear end. Not good. Almost took out the boss in the process. Luckily, of course, he held on, ends up moving to the next round. And really, an 11th place finish. Like, what a recovery for him. But the outright didn't have too much of a chance. Elliott at 15-1. Look, he finished in 5th place. This is what you're getting out of Elliott this year. He's not going to be overly impressive. He's not going to lead all the laps, but he's going to be there at the end with a chance. We go to overtime, Rod. What happens in overtime, right? Does Austin Cindric, who has to win, dive bomb into turn 1 and take out Larson, Bell, Byron, and suddenly Chase Elliott's in first place? that could absolutely fucking happen. 15-1, you'd have been glad you had it. Didn't happen, but Rod, do you even want to talk about your outright?
I do. And I want to talk about it because we told you. So I had SVG, by the way, plus 750. The number was
Which
right.
was a
it started on the damn poll. Okay, here's the thing. We told you coming in, that if you go back and you listen to the Xfinity episode and you listen to the Cup episode, that a number as absurd as minus whatever for his top 3, for his top 5, you would have cashed. Kudos to you if you took that one. But if you were trying to play anything, the outright was the play. Because you would have had to look, all it would have taken was for something to happen. Like, and for Shane Van Gisbergen, you didn't get a top 3. You didn't get a top 5 in the Cup Series. Like, so if you were banking so heavy on in fact, no, you didn't. You only thing you cashed on was a top 10. If you would have placed the absurd number on a top 10, you don't go chasing gigantic number top 5s, because then they stay out, they have trouble, and you're done. Like, you've lost so much because you thought it was an absolute lock. That's what the books want you to think. Don't do it. We'll get into that in a second, but we told you that SVG, the only thing to do was take his outright and walk away. Like, that's the most financially responsible thing for you to do, is just take the outright at plus 750 and hope that it cashes, because that's the best way that you stand to make money. It's not about out here just throwing out plays, throw out plays, because we want you to go and do and waste your money. We're here to try to make you make smart decisions.
So don't give out a minus 650 next week.
I'm going to talk about that in a second. I want to.
To the point of SVG, I think that this was a good bet, right? Because it's 7-1. Look, he ends up on the pole. He was plus 250 before the race. Hopefully he didn't take that number. 7-1. You saw what he was capable of. We saw how fucking fast he was in practice. I mean, he looked like he was really killing it out there. I made the point that I didn't think he should be the favorite. Obviously, he did not win the race. But at the number you got him at, it ended up being a really good deal compared to what, you know, that's before you know he's going to start on the pole. That's before you know his number's going to drop to plus 250. And so if you had it, he was fast early. He led a lot of laps, and things just didn't quite work out for him. If he doesn't get spun at that one point,
yes,
where he ended up completely spun around, I don't remember. That might have been part of the Austin Dillon thing. Might have been a host. Actually, that might have been one of the hosts of our victims. But yeah, it doesn't work out. But I don't think that it was a bad bet. I still don't think he should have come in as a favorite. Again, we are to the point where he's not won any of these road courses in the Cup Series. That's going to, I think, continue to be a talking point next season. But at the same time, we've seen how fast he is, how good he is, what he's capable of, and you know, I don't know. I'm sort of torn on this SVG thing, I guess, but I don't think that it ended up being a bad bet based on what you got out of him and what the number moved to, where he started, and what he looked like early in the race.
Well, again, it's a plus 750 bet. You don't need to go heavy to profit. That's one of the things that we're trying to get people to understand. You don't have to throw millions of units at this to try to profit. And if you lose, then you lose a partial of what you covered in the Austin Hill 6-1. You know, you're covered in the all the head-to-heads that we gave you that won you money. You're covered in the Sam Mayer 12-1 that you placed earlier. Like it's all a balancing act. It's not about just, you know, tossing out these bets to toss out, which, by the way, we're on to Las Vegas, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
Standings wise, real quick, Rod, just to update the people in case you didn't see the playoffs, down to 8 drivers. You can begin to lock yourself in with a win next week at Las Vegas. Kyle Larson resets back to 33 points to the good. Good start for him. And then it is Christopher Bell at 13, Reddick at 10, Byron 4 to the good. Below the cutoff line, Blaney at -4, Hamlin -8, Elliott -9, Alex Bowman -16. Larson's got a 33-point cushion, Rod, but I don't think there's any mulligans left. You're going to have to be on your A game if you want to race for a championship or win one of these 3 races. That is what will give you a mulligan, I suppose. Las Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville. That's the last 3 races to set us up for a championship race. In Phoenix, I think it was Andrew earlier in the chat saying he's sad there's only 4 races left, only 4 weeks left. I was thinking about that earlier today, Rod. It makes me extremely sad as well.
It makes me sad, but I can't believe we're already here, which is kind of what leads us into this beautiful part of what I don't want to spend too long on this, but I do want to know, because as the weeks tick down, I've been thinking a lot about this over the last 3 or 4 days. And I know that we have our live audience, which is why it's always kind of fun to banter about this kind of stuff while we have the live audience. But this show and other shows in this space, purely entertainment, right? We try to entertain you while we help you to place bets.
What about all the money we charge for our picks, Rod?
Oh, well, that goes straight to my pockets. My kids got to go to college, don't they?
Oh, they're free. Fuck.
No, they're free. It's this show is absolutely free. All these other shows are free as well, for the most part. I know that some of them charge for models and all that other stuff, but here's my thing, guys. When we discuss drivers, when we discuss bets, we have you in mind, the casual bettor, the one that's not out here trying to put food on your table by gambling, but the one that wants to have just a little bit extra to cheer for on Sunday, on Saturday, on Thursday, on Friday, whenever the race is there, right? We're not trying to inundate you with we're not trying to force models down your throat. We're not trying to tell you that we're smarter than you because we crunch numbers. We're here because we're two guys that love to talk NASCAR, and we're trying to find you the better ways to get involved in betting it, and not trying to give you a sweat in which you've got more on the line than what you stand to earn, because we know that in this volatile world of NASCAR, that all it takes is a turn 7 dive bomb to take your day from fun to now.
all it takes is a 2 millisecond caution light, Rod.
That's what I'm talking about. If you went into that with like grocery money on the line, or if you went into that with something that just was not for fun, then you're toast. We understand that the gambling aspect of this and the conversations that surround all of this, right, are meant to be fun. This is supposed to be a place in which you have fun. And so if we're giving out bets to you, if we're giving out numbers to you, then we know that in the long run, this is not going to send you overboard if something happens. And we tell you too to build for the kind of caution. And when we talk about drivers, we back it up with stats right away. We back it up with the facts and the stats that we find. We don't just, oh, hey, let's look up the numbers for so and so, unless it's a driver we didn't expect to bring up. But if Cody and I bring up a name, you know that we've researched this driver, and we're not just falling back on some sheets that we have. We've researched this driver. We've read about their past. We've got all the data in front of us so we can back it up. That's to me, I feel like it's so important for you guys to understand where we come from as a show, because I mean, this is why I don't really listen to many podcasts out there, because I don't want to get tainted by it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel so passionately about you and us and the product that we're building that I don't want you to think that we're in this just to sit around and go, oh yeah, by the way, you could take this one. This one's fun. Or you could take this one. No, we thoroughly think about what we give you. And that's the kind of conversations that I think it's fun to have.
Yeah. Well, just a good reminder, right? If you are relying on gambling to feed your family or pay the bills, then like 1-800-BETS-OFF, right? There's resources out there. That's not what this should be. And if you think that you can go make money and whatever, like to support yourself off of this, there's some people out there that are able to do it, and props to them and congratulations to you. If that's not what we're here for, right? We're here to have, well, yeah, exactly. And we're here to have fun, right? We're going to see trends. We're going to see things we like, numbers, feelings, storylines, babies, whatever it is, right? To put into it. And we like to have fun while we do it. That's the whole point of the show. I mean, sure, we could just type our picks out and give them to you and you could tail them. And if that's fun for you, fine, but we come here, have fun and talk about it. That's like Laura says, that's why it's called gambling. Andrew's saying Bowman DQ'd. Holy shit. Is this breaking news?
Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. But the finish still stands on most
following. Oh my God. Joey Logano's in the round of 8. Even year Logano continues. Breaking news, Rod. Andrew breaking into the show. Following the disqualification of the number 48 car, Joey Logano advances to the round of 8 in the NASCAR playoffs on points. That is from NASCAR themselves. Failure to meet the minimum weight requirement by virtue of a 38th place finish, which also means he loses the stage points. The number 48 team does not advance to the round of 8. This is going to be really sad for all the people who think that Rick Hendrick is the owner of NASCAR, Rod, because, boy, that is rough.
That's a F1 stuff.
Any appeals? So any appeals would be heard this week. I 100% guarantee you there will be an appeal, because why would you not appeal this? It'll be like last week with the Sam Mayer deal, where, wow. Live on the air, we get some breaking news, Rod. Good thing you had your whole thing to go into.
I was going to say, aren't you
glad? We just signed off right before this happened. So
my little my little soapbox rant.
Where did he originally finish in the race, too?
18th.
He was okay. So that's not really going to affect. Although, if you already got paid for that Bowman over Suarez bet, hurry up and withdraw your money.
Seriously, take that shit out
now.
now.
And read your rules, because sometimes it is, results as they cross the line.
Yeah.
In which case, you might be able to get paid for Parker Cookerman because he won the race. But anyways, back to the whole thing before that all happened, Rod. Everything you said, agree with. We're here to have fun, right? And that's the thing. We try to make this a fun show along the lines. We're not the smartest people in the world. I like to get full of myself at times and think I know what I'm talking about most of the time, which when it comes to Kyle Larson on super speedways, usually I do. But anyways, I say it jokingly, Rod, because it's a lot of fun. I love all you guys. And look at our chat. It's blown up right now. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And the people listening to the podcast, look, that's how I listen to most things. Podcasts, we love you guys as well. 4 more weeks, Rod. 4 more races to go for, 3 races for the trucks, I believe. I think we're at 3, yes. And 4 for each of the other 2 series, but not going to be done after that. We will be here all off season. Already started putting together some off season ideas. So if you're still listening to the recap show an hour and 2 minutes into it, if you have ideas for stuff you want to see in the off season, shoot them over to us, send us DMs or whatever the case is later on. And get those ideas in there. But we'll have all sorts of recap stuff, all sorts of preview stuff. Be here all off season long because, you're not going to make money during the off season betting, although maybe you will if you bet the right bets. But we like to have fun. We like to talk about it and wrap up the season and begin the new one. And luckily for us, I think it was JDK who said it earlier, shortest off season in pro sports, Rod. Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah. Truth be told, I'd do the show if there was only 6 of you guys listening. The 6 that are in the chat right now, they're keeping us company. I'd do the show if it was only you guys, because honestly, like I said, I've loved podcasting since it started in 2006, and I just can't put down the microphone.
Me too, Rod. All right. Should we get out of here? Hey, F1's back this week.
Yes,
so I think tomorrow we'll be back with an episode of the F1 Gambling Podcast.
I got to see
back Tuesday with our I know. You don't get over me that easy, Rod. Sorry.
I can do it.
All right. In the meantime, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Follow all my stuff there. Laura too, real quick. What will we do when NASCAR's over for the season? We'll be here. We'll still have, it won't be 5 days a week, but 3 days a week or so. We'll recap all the stuff from the season, go back over all the season-long bets, recap all the teams and stuff. Then we'll jump into previewing everything, give out the future. Usually futures are available like a week after the thing. I gave out Tyler Reddick to win a week after the season last year. We're still alive, baby. Let's go.
What will I do? I will see if the family is still outside of the door out there. That's what I'm going to do after the off season's over. I'm going to make sure that I still have a wife and kids. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bottom. Everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review, which by the way, Joe Burrow just completely screwed my first touchdown bet research.
They scored already?
Yeah, they did. So sorry about that. Spoiler alert: Joe Burrow ran it in for a touchdown. So
47-yard. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid, but whatever. I didn't have that on the board, and if you did, congrats to you. All right. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for the Cup episode, but tomorrow for the F1 Gambling Podcast. Make sure you join us there as F1 comes back after a year of vacation. All right. We'll see you then. Until then, let's go racing. This time, don't do crime, and let it ride.